Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And on Facebook Live, we are here with Valerie from Micato Safaris, and she's going to share some special information on what makes Micato #1 for safaris, and what makes, what's unique with them. And they're one of our preferred partners, because we know that our clients are going to be taken care of when they go on these safaris with them. A little bit about us, in case you're new to AMT Travel. We've been in business over 40 years. We have a family-owned business in Southern California, and we have several safari specialists in our office that are available to help you plan your safari. We're going to go ahead and turn it over to Valerie and let her share the magic of Micato.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Andrea, for the introduction. We are delighted to be partner of AMT Travel, very similar to AMT. We're family-owned business as well. So I think that the number one question that I get for Africa is is it the best time to go to Africa? And what I'm going to tell you is that any time is the best time. Africa is a big continent. Sometimes you think that there's a particular time that you should go, but year-round, it's a year-round destination. So what will your safari be like? You're going to definitely see the big five. The big five are the buffaloes, the elephants. And just to give you an idea, this is actually pictures that I took on my husband and I took on our safari when we went on the Micato Safari in 2022. Incredible wildlife, and you may even see some cubs and the elusive leopard, as well as the endangered rhinos. You're going to see a lot of zebras as well. And if you're a cat lover, you're going to see the cheetahs. And then you're going to discover the servals. Incredible wildlife. And the hyenas, which I think are quite cute. And beautiful birds as well. We became a birder after going to Africa. And of course, Africa has a very diverse topography depending on where you go. To give you an idea of the size of Africa, it's about 3 times the size of the United States. They have they have 54 countries. So when people tell me that they want to go to Africa once, I will tell them, once you go, you're gonna want to go back. The different countries will be a very, very different experience. So Micato Safaris, we specialize in Eastern Africa and in Southern Africa. And these are the countries that we cover. So we don't try to be, everything to everyone. In East Africa, Kenya and Tanzania are probably the most popular countries for first-time travelers to Africa, especially if their main reason to go to Africa is for wildlife. So when you watch movies such as Out of Africa and you think of a vast land, the endless plain, it's going to be Kenya and Tanzania, where the Serengeti and the Masai Mara are. And the biggest Africa geographic landmark, which you probably know about, is Mount Kilimanjaro and Mount Kenya, which you see in a lot of photos. And then, of course, Rwanda, which has become quite popular for gorilla trekking. So the migration happens between June and September. And this is where you're going to see the wildebeest, the zebra, and antelope migrate. The migration happens in Eastern Africa, and they go year-round in a circle. And most of the people, when they think of the migration, they think of the crossing. And this happens to be the summer, which is the high season, which means that there's going to be more crowds. I encourage you to actually travel during the shoulder months because year-round, you'll see the animals year-round, and our guides know exactly where to go. And then, of course, I did mention the gorillas in Rwanda, which is really a magical experience to be able to see them. So these are the season in Africa. As I mentioned, it's a year-round destination because Eastern Africa, Kenya, and Tanzania are very close to the equator. The climate is quite mild. It's surprisingly cool and dry. The only time that I would not suggest going is in April, which is the long rains. So travel is not recommended in April. We actually do not run any of our program during April. But other than that, year round, it's an incredible, the area is abundant with resident wildlife, and you can see a lot of animals. And then Southern Africa, in Southern Africa, these are the countries that we are in. The terrain is incredibly diverse, ranging from forest and grassland to desert. And it's also home to both mountains and low-lying coastal area. So if you are travelers that don't want to do game drive every day, this is another option that's quite popular for first-time traveler. Most people go to South Africa, and then they're going to want to experience the Cape land for wine tasting. And this is Cape Town, which has beautiful tabletop mountain. And then you can also experience the wild game drive. And then, of course, also, oh my gosh, Andrea, help me. I completely forgot the name. Victoria Falls. I just had a senior moment.
It's okay.
And if you favor smaller camps and more intimate experience, Botswana has incredible wildlife as well. Now, the seasons in South Africa are going to be opposite of our season. So their winter is our summer, and their summer is our winter. And it's beautiful year-round. March is actually considered wedding season in Cape Town. And the weather is very much like the Mediterranean. So why Micato? We're the most awarded luxury safari company. We've been awarded 10 times in a row by Travel and Leisure, the world best safari director. The Pinto family, owns Micato, and their ethos is to treat their guests as if they were loved out-of-towners. And this is true to this day. We've been in business for 60 years, and like other companies that have new CEOs year out, year in and year out, we've never changed our singular goal is to be the premier #1 luxury tour operator in the world. The family is based out of Kenya. We also have offices in the US. And if you need any assistance, our travel specialists are available to AMT Travel, and we can do a conference call with you and your travel advisor at AMT Travel. Micato has been described as the Rolls-Royce of the safari world by Forbes magazine. We make trips very seamless. We put you up in very beautiful camps. But it's not all about the camps. It's about the experience. And what Micato provide is the seamless experience from beginning to end. So one of the differentiator of going with Micato is that when you travel with Micato from the time that you land in your destination to when you depart, you're going to be traveling with a highly credentialed safari guide who's going to be with you the entire time and take care of all of your needs. No worries, Hakuna Matata. If your flight, internal flight gets canceled or delayed, we'll make sure that your trip is not interrupted, and we'll take care of all of the details. We also have a 24-hour concierge team to assist your client, with anything that may happen during your trip, whether you lose your luggage, the airline lose your luggage, will have an emergency kit for you. If you lose your glasses, we'll make sure to get a replacement for you. So our team will work tirelessly to make sure that your journey is seamless. All of the meals is included with Mikado. There's no set menus. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, as well as all the local wine and beers are included. If you do a custom safari and you decide last minute that you want to change to a different restaurant, not a problem. We'll include the transfer, and we will also pick up the tab for you. All of your laundry is included with Mikado, and you will receive this beautiful Mikado wheel bag to take on your safari. It has the right specification for your bush flight. If you don't already know, there's actually limits on how much you can carry on the bush flight. And by having unlimited laundry done with Mikado, you don't have to worry about how much to pack. With Mikado, no tipping is, we have a no tipping policy from beginning to end. All of the tippings, even for the safari directors and guides, are included. We try to take any of the friction point away so that all you have to do is just enjoy yourself. So there are 3 ways that you can travel with Mikado. You can design a custom safari with your travel specialist at AMT Travel. This custom safari is based on your schedule, on your interests, and what you like to do. This is a very popular option for families as well as couples that want the privacy and want the exclusivity. We will also include some private experiences for you. Some of them are going to be surprises. And we also offer small group departure. So we have beautiful brochures that I encourage you to order through AMT Travel. Our small group departures, we have 10 different itineraries that depart weekly, and they are all guaranteed to operate, and the small groups are about 12 to 18 guests maximum. And then for guests that want the option but don't quite have the budget of a custom safari, we can make one of our small group departure private. So this is a very nice option if you want to have your own safari director and your own vehicle, but cannot quite afford the custom safari. You just have to pick a fixed departure date on one of our small group departure. Mikado has always been extremely philanthropic. If you travel with us, for every traveler that books a Mikado safari, we will send one child to school. You're really not only changing the life of that one child, but you're changing the life of an entire family. For most of these kids that live in the slum in Kenya, there are about 60,000 kids actually in Mukuru, which is the area where we operate our America Share program. About over 60,000 don't get to go to school. And so by going on a Mikado safari, you can feel good about sending one child to school. This is our 1-for-1 commitment. It's incredible. And we have this beautiful R&B center, which guests are more than welcome to visit if they go through Nairobi. With a beautiful, with some computer center, which is open to the entire community. And then another arm of our philanthropic organization is Huru. Huru in Swahili means freedom. We provide sanitary pads to girls that, ending period poverty, keeping them in school. Because what was happening is that we actually saw a really high percentage of girls dropping out of school because they didn't have the necessary means to stay in school. So our motto is to keep girls in school, period. So another questions that we always get is, what should you plan to wear when you go on a safari? So the colors that we recommend are neutral. No bright colors, because you don't want to the animals to be afraid of you.
Yes.
And the medical requirements for Eastern Africa, we do go by the CDC recommendations. So please go on the CDC travel website to see what is required. But anti-malaria is recommended for Eastern Africa. For Southern Africa, they're free of malaria, so that's not a concern. We have beautiful brochures that are like coffee table books. So please make sure to order them through AMT Travel and to contact your AMT travel advisor to book your safari. And if you end up booking a safari before June 20th, you will receive a gift exclusive to AMT, which is a $200 gift credit to the Micato online safari store, which you're going to need to purchase your, safari gear. But please take advantage of that before the end of June. And that's good for travel until the end of December 2025.
Thanks.
Once you go on a safari, you're not going to want to leave. So please go sooner than later. That's basically the way that I felt when I went on my first Mikado safari. And thank you.
Thank you. That was awesome. Does anyone have any questions for her? I muted you guys if you're on Zoom, so you can unmute yourself if you have a question. I think one of the things I think you touched on it was just making it clear. So one of the differences of Mikado is well, it's basically all inclusive. And B, like you try to make minimal times between places by maybe having private air or, the air instead of driving 6 hours so that people are enjoying themselves and not sitting in a car for 6 hours, unless there's something on the way, right?
That is correct. So
Okay.
we usually prefer going to conservancies by air. Unless, and there's different itineraries based on different budgets.
Right.
So, please take a look. I think that we have 4 different itineraries in Eastern Africa that fits different budget and different schedule. So if you have more, I think that our shortest itinerary is 8 days.
Okay.
I do encourage you to go for at least 2 weeks, because coming from the US, it does take a day and a half to 2 days to get to Africa.
Right. And plus you're gonna get there and not want to leave, like you said, because it's so like magical. And people that have not been yet are going to love it once they get there and see how really untouched a lot of these areas are. So I think that's the big thing for Africa. And giving back to the communities and stuff like that. So I think that's awesome. Okay, well, I will be sending out an email to everyone that's on the Zoom, and then anyone that's on Facebook, if you want to get the promotion code for the Safari promotion, then just drop Safari in the comments, and then I will make sure to send you the information for that. And I want to thank you, Valerie, for always supporting us and taking your time today, and hopefully we'll be talking soon.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone.